Hi there, Philip Johnson here from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm giving you the first quarter 2017 market update, and I'm using months supply. Months supply to me is the best parameter for predicting and suggesting how strong the market is, because it kind of combines all the factors. Supply and demand obviously drives this, and that's what month supply basically is. Every chart that I did, I've done 4 different charts. They're all on 4 different price points, progressing from the first-time home buyer up to the luxury home. And each one, I'm covering Wake County, Raleigh, Cary, and Wake Forest. I chose these areas mainly. Raleigh is the main city, of Wake Forest, obviously. Of Wake County, of course, and Cary is similar to Holly Springs and Apex, where Wake Forest is a little different than those. So I tried to mix it up a little bit to give you a good idea of what's going on in different aspects of the county from north to south. This system will only let you compare 4 at one time and 4 price points at one time. So I'll get a little more involved in that. But Philip Johnson here, Philip Johnson Group. You can contact me at WeSellRaleigh.com. I'm with eXp Realty, the agent on cloud brokerage. And I appreciate you listening to me. This information is provided by Triangle Multiple Listing Service. So what does month supply mean? It's pretty straightforward, and I'll give you an example. But housing economists track the balance between supply and demand with the metric known as month supply. It presents how many months it would take to use up the current supply of homes at the current rate of demand. It takes into account the current inventory, the rate of replacement of the inventory, and the rate of disappearance of the inventory. A 6-month supply is considered healthy. So to give you an example, if there's 30 houses on the market and it takes 1 month to sell all 30 houses, then the supply would be 1. If there's 30 houses on the market and it takes 1 month to sell 60 houses, then the monthly supply is 0.5. If the inventory is, say, 30 houses and it took a month to sell 10 houses, then the monthly supply would be 0.3. Would be 3, meaning it takes 3 months to sell those 30 houses. Okay, so now you can see how that would drive the market. That would, because clearly the less inventory there is, and the more buyers there are for that inventory, the quicker they're coming off the market, the more it increases the price. The less markets on today, it will increase the median price. So it's all combined. It all affects the month supply. So these are the 4 charts I'm going to show you. I'm going to go through the first one a little longer than the other 3. Are going to go a lot quicker, because I just want to kind of show you how the charts work. Then you'll be very familiar with how all of this works. I broke up the categories from $154,999, $154,999 or less. That's the entry home. And then I went from $155,000 to $225,999. Will be on the next chart. And that's still an entry level to maybe a second home. So and since I only had 4, I try to break it up this way and make it a little different. We all know that between $226 and $400 price point is also a very busy market. So I wanted to bump it up a little bit to kind of break up that a little bit, because houses are sneaking up to that $450 range now that are starting to move a little faster in some areas. So, and then of course I went from $450 up, which is considered a luxury home in some areas. In some areas it's not quite as luxury. That's how that works there. But I think many can argue that a $450,000 condo downtown Raleigh would be a luxury condo, right? So property type, I used all property types. I used all types of construction, new construction, it didn't matter. I left open the size of the homes and number of bedrooms. I just left all that open, okay, so that we're getting a pretty accurate picture of the whole market. So $154,999 or less, month supply. And I'm not going to do all this in the other charts. I'm just going to show you exactly what I did here. And then the bar, I used a bar graph, and I went 3 years back for the first quarter for this particular presentation. I'm going the first quarter of 2017, and then I compared it to 2015, the first quarter, and 2016, the first quarter. So let's get started. these are the 4 areas: Wake County, Raleigh, Cary, and Wake Forest. And as you can see, look at Cary as a good example of what's going on with the inventory in this 155 price range and down. 0.6, so that means it's not even taking a month to sell 30 houses. As that being an example, it's almost half. So the monthly supply is outrageously low in that price range in Cary. And then it even in 2016 it even goes down to 0.5, and then in 2017 it goes to a crazy 0.2. So to think about that, that means that it basically, to sell 100 houses, in 1 month, if you had 100 houses in inventory, you would sell 500 houses in 1 month. So that's basically how that would work. It's a pretty crazy thing that's going on there. But in that price point, the whole entire market in the Wake County is crazy. And you can tell that by looking at Wake Forest, where Wake Forest is the worst of these 4 examples, and even compared to the average of Wake County as a whole. But it's still only one. It's still a 1. So that's basically saying if you had 30 houses on the market, it would take 30 days to sell all 30 houses. It would take 1 month to sell 30 houses. So pretty crazy, right? So to go through these a little quicker, we're going 155 to 225, 999. As you can see what's going on there, Wake Forest went up a little bit from 2015 to 16. A lot of it had to do with a lot of houses hitting that market because of they're out of the water. So a few houses, a little more inventory hit because finally, a lot of these areas were rebounding. And as you can see, Cary is the same old until it got to 2017, where it's drastically dropped again from this price range. It's very hard to find a house in this price range in these areas. They're on the market very shortly, and I've got a whole point to this. I'm going to show you why it's a very good time to consider buying now if you're moving up. If you're interested in moving up to the luxury home, this is a good time to do it, and I'm going to demonstrate that. That's one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, to be honest with you. So, but if you look at what's going on here, if you look at 2017 here, again from 155 to 225, 999. Look at what's going on with the Wake County average from 1.4 to 1.1 to 0.7. So it has a 36% decrease in inventory. So in month supply. So Wake Forest again is 1.2. It's a little higher in this price point than the other, but that's still well below considering being a buyer's market. It's definitely a seller's market, and in Cary it's hard not to 0.3. So that's just ridiculously low supply for Cary. So now we're hitting the little higher price point, the 225 to the 444, 999, right? So, and as you can tell, these numbers are, and as you would expect, as the numbers go up higher, as the prices become higher, the inventory, the month supply is higher. So this is getting a little more realistic, I guess, right? So 2015 to 2016, all the markets went down except for Wake Forest went up a little bit, and again that goes back to the housing market in general, in my opinion. I think that Wake Forest kind of hit with a little more houses because they were a little behind the curve as far as getting out from underwater. So that's a theory of mine. I haven't really gone back and studied it, but I know the market pretty well, and that's just a gut feeling of mine. And you can kind of see the numbers as to how it would be unusual when everything else went down and Wake Forest went up, and then all of a sudden Wake Forest went down in 2017 because so it went down quite a bit actually. But you can tell again from 226 to 440 to $444,999. You can see how the market has greatly improved in this price range, and even in the higher end. Wake Forest has a little more new construction in this price range, so that's another reason why we see the average months a little higher, because they have a little more inventory of new construction, in my opinion. So I have it This study is not this is not covering that, but again, I know the market pretty well, and I'm pretty sure that's what causing these numbers to be inflated a little bit in Wake Forest. But even in this price range, Cary has still got a month's supply, which is amazing. Wake County on average is almost 2 months supply of houses in this price range, which is still well below it becoming a buyer's market. And then Wake Forest is getting a little closer to that, and the next chart you're going to see will help you here. So again, so from 226 to $444,999. Wake Forest has a 3-month supply, just a little over a 3-month supply of houses, which is still a healthy market. So naturally, you can see if you're moving up in price, if you're trying to sell your first home or your second home, maybe you're in that low 200s or mid 300 price range, and you want to buy that $500, $600, $800,000 house, and you can see what's happening here, and hopefully take advantage of it. And that really is for all markets, because you can see how much higher the inventory, the month supply is, even though they're still very good for the most part. Wake Forest, in 2016, and again, we're going back to a lot of houses were not on the market as many, in 2015, and then 2016, they became a little more available as they got out of from underwater, in my opinion, and was able to have some equity in there and sold. And now what you can see what's going on, and so from $450,000 plus, you can see that from 2015 to 2016, and this kind of illustrates my point. So from 2015 to 2016, everything went up. Okay, and a lot of that reason is because more houses hit the market because there were more houses available that were no longer underwater, in my opinion. So not a great deal of difference, but significant enough to make a difference and actually see these numbers go up. There had to be a reason for it. I would think that would be the reason. It's taken us a while for all these houses to rebound on average, the higher end homes. Okay, so 2017, everything is starting to drop. This is what I'm saying. If you're thinking about getting into the higher end market, I'm not saying this is going to continue. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't pretend to. I'm just looking at the trends. You can see what's going on here. Cary has got a 3-month supply. Wake Forest is at a 6-month supply, so it's still right now borderline in Wake Forest, a borderline, buyer's market, seller's market. So there's still some opportunity there to take advantage of it. Does it go down? I don't know. There's still some new construction going on in the higher end. In this higher end price range, is just going on everywhere. But we still, in my opinion, still are very low on new construction inventory. But when you go up to Wake Forest and some of the areas down in the southern part of the county, Holly Springs, Apex, and all that, it's pretty healthy. But still, that's a huge difference between what we're looking at when it comes to the lower price range. So again, I'm Philip Johnson with eXp Realty. Contact me at WeSellRaleigh.com, and I just want to thank you for listening to my report, and I'll do one next quarter as well.